Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world. Welcome back to the live stream.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Today is March 4th, 2020. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello. Let me say hello to some of the folks that are here today. I'm going to scroll up a little bit here. Let's see. Elliot Brand, thank you for that resub. Tier 1 for 2 months. Thank you very much for the support. Smab is here. Hello. Hugo Dahl. Bruno Giuliano. Hello. Eternal Dev Coder. Good to see you. Willem Mates. Hello. Motown Andy. Coding Bandit. Can't believe it's already Wednesday. I know. Can't believe it's already Wednesday. And March, no less. Darn Skippy indeed. Yeah, that's right. Coding Bandit is the current hype train conductor. You get this little train badge if you're the lead contributor on the hype train. Thank you so much. Saduki is back. Good to see you. Hello. Yep. We're going to do more Minimal March. Oh yeah, and we'll give you an update as to what's been happening here over the last day or so. I'm pretty happy with what I've figured out. It's not the best, but we'll get into that in just a minute here. Jean Valjean is here. Hello. Let me keep scrolling here. Devman NL. Copper Beardy. There's another member of the Live Coders. Both the Coding Bandit and Copper Beardy. They're members of the Live Coders team. 120 folks that are building software, working with technology here on Twitch that you can learn from. Execute the Live Coders command like or you can click the button just down below here for Live Coders and learn more all about the team. Let me keep scrolling here. My goodness, a lot of folks chiming in already. Confission is here. Webface CA. Musical Bookworm. Absolutely. Windows subsystem for Linux is a thing. We did brick the Chromebook last night. I'll get into that in just a minute. Desert Griffin, hello. Thank you so much. All right. So let's talk about this. Actually, let's not talk about this just yet. Let me get some music to code by playing, and then we'll start talking about the fun that I had after stream yesterday. Today, this is called Judson. There we go. This is funky music called Music to Code By, and I like the bass in this song. We're going to be listening to this. This music's designed to get you in the groove, get you focused on whatever task it is that you're working on. Music to Code By our friend, Mr. Carl Franklin. We've had him here on the stream. Make sure you check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. Execute the music command in the chat room. There it is, just like Hugo did. And you can get your copy today. Thank you so much. Nope, not switching OSs. We're going to stick with the Chromebook today. I want to talk about what happened, some of the things that we were looking at, some of the steps we went through, and how we can try and make a Chromebook a better development experience for .NET folks. I think we're going to be hanging on the Chromebook for a couple days here and going through and showing just what this feels like to folks. So, let me head over. I'm going to head over to. Let me start here. I was really hung up on this yesterday. I mean, really hung up on this. And it annoyed me so much that I wanted to be able to customize. Okay, good. I wanted to be able to customize the fonts on my Chromebook. So I went and I searched for Chrome help using DuckDuckGo. Yeah, that's a thing. And it's not easy. This is not something that folks can easily do. So there are fonts that are installed on the machine, but because of how Chrome OS is configured, you need to remount the file system as read-write so you can put fonts in the font folder and be able to interact with that. That's weird. I get what Google's trying to do. They're trying to protect it and make sure that those operating system critical things are not modified. They aren't messed with. But fonts is something that a lot of folks like to tweak and tune on their machines. So I started following these instructions. You fire up the shell and first off, right? Sudo mount there. Uh-oh. You're remounting the file system. And Willem Mains asks, isn't there another way to put a font on disk where the Chrome OS can see it? Which leads to another thing here. When you're running Linux on Chrome OS, you're running inside of a container. So if you put that font somewhere in the container where you do have full access, the operating system can't see it. If you put that font on the main disk here, the rest of the operating system should be able to see it. Except it can't. And Motown Andy is chiming in here. Let me highlight this because this is kind of important to note. There were incidents where fonts were used to inject viruses. Maybe. No matter. It could be a designer says this is the way that my operating system is going to look, and that's what we're going to deal with. But this is rough. And when you go through this, you get into developer mode, and you can finally write to the fonts folder in the user space on disk. Well, when you reboot into developer mode, Mr. Chromebox Tech points out you're now in a root-capable shell, and you need to press Control-D every time you boot your machine in order to stay in developer mode. I forgot. I stepped away from my machine after trying to copy fonts into these folders, trying to get them configured and pointed to with my terminal. I'm Scott, I'm new here. And I forgot. Is that Goyharm? Goyam? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you joining us. Unhip Coder, hello. Odin Hassan is here. 11:20 in the evening. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for staying up and joining in, Odin Hassan. Appreciate you tuning in. So I accidentally didn't press Control-D when I boot my machine, and I blogged about my experience. And I literally just published this blog post. Only just. And let me share this link to the chat room, just in case. Oh my goodness, Fairy Wings!
Fairy Wings just resubscribed for 17 months.
Thank you so much. Jeez. Thank you so much, Fairy Wigs.
Oh my.
I really appreciate the resub, and we'll make another donation to code.org. So I wrote this blog post about my experience and what I went through.
Let me add some value.
Copper Beardy with the cheer. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And that opens up the hype train. Here we go. Thank you very much for the subs, for the cheers. Do I need to go into? Do I need to start party mode here? Do we need to start party mode while I'm talking about this?
Let me add some value.
I have a feeling I need to. I need to change my Skype status here so we don't get interrupted. All right. Let me, let's start that voice mod up. Thank you so much for the follow. Perky81, welcome in. Is that, are you from near the Perky Omen? Is that what that is? Or something else? Let me know. Frank Boucheros is here. Hey, Frank, welcome in. Good to see you. Frank's another member of the Live Coders team. Do we get into party time? Let's do this for a little bit. Coding with Jerry is here. So let me talk about this. I forgot to hit that Control D after being in Chrome developer mode. Oh yeah! And this happened. Right, where's my sad tuba? Because that's how I felt. Oh, so bad, so bad. Well, there is a very well documented system restore process. And I did this, and I'm back up and running. I've installed all my things again, and it looks like I'm doing my thing now. But Coding Bandit, 14 months of support. Thank you so much. Really appreciate 14 months of support. Converting that Twitch Prime sub to a tier 1. Thank you, Kelly28. Appreciate that. We're on to level 2 of the hype train. 4.5 minutes. Thank you so much for all that support. That is really cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I did the restore and I'm back up and running. Now, I want to point out a couple things here that folks have been replying to me here. Look at that Coding Bandit with the super C# emotes. Boom, boom, drinking some coffee. Building some applications. Nice. I like the way you get started there. I outlined why I wanted to be on a Chromebook here, and I tweeted about this, and I immediately had people criticizing me. Why would you do something like this? This is terrible. No professional developer should be doing this. This is painful. It is a little painful. Thank you so much for the follow. Phil Draco, welcome in. Good to see you. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. But while this might be painful, this is what the vast majority of folks experience because they don't have high-end, expensive machines, top performance capabilities. They're students. They've got a free Chromebook from their school. They spend less than $200 on a machine because they just need a little bit to browse the web. Saduki, thank you so much for those 100 bits. And we're going to make another donation to code.org. So folks are saying, well, just spend another $100. Ash Caravan.
Just resubscribe.
Oh my gosh. Ash, thank you so much for that resub. 7 months of support. Thank you very much. If folks say just spend another couple $100, not everybody has a couple $100. That's kind of the point. What you're doing is called gatekeeping. And gatekeeping sucks. Don't do this. Don't tell someone that they do or do not have access to our technical community. Everyone is welcome. Everyone can be a developer. And that's what we're going to prove this month. We're going to make everyone a developer. Everyone can use .NET. Learn, get that first job. And then you can handle and get more expensive, cooler systems. Hugo!
64 bits. Now we have a 64-bit hype train. Right? I know. Doors on the left. I'll show myself out.
Thank you, Hugo. That is awesome. Thank you so much for that support. Jacob Markov says, I equate it to trying to be a carpenter without a hammer. It's a trade you need good tools, which makes it tough. Yes, you can still be a carpenter with a handsaw. You could still be a carpenter with a chisel. You could be a carpenter with a hand drill. There are power tools available, and they cost hundreds of dollars, thousands. Coding Bandit. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. Let's get folks in the door. Let's get them started. Let's show and experience what that's like, because anybody can do this. Everyone, well, Coding Stocks, I think, has put this perfectly well here. Everyone can be a developer unless you choose spaces over tabs. No. Choose what makes you happy. I choose tabs because I find them to be more inclusive. I don't like gatekeeping. I want everybody to have a chance at this Daryl code stuff. Thank you so much. Converting to a tier 1. Appreciate you joining us, Daryl. Thank you very much. So, what do we have here? Oh, we're gonna go for 5 more minutes, says Andre. Not a problem. We get through the Twitch hype train. There it is. And we'll go for 5 minutes more. There we go. Let me move this over. And I'm gonna mark this. And let's put the indicator up on the screen. We're gonna go that one, this, and 5 minutes. There we go. All right, 5 more minutes of party time. Here we go. Thank you so much, Andre. Appreciate the redemption. So, we want everybody everywhere to be able to have access to good tools. Even if folks say, you need to have a MacBook, you need to have Alienware, you need to have a Surface Book. Hogwash. You can be a developer with a Chromebook. All right. So let's get into this. Two Wolf is here. Hello. It's a huge turn off for someone brand new. Let me highlight this. That's a great comment. There's a couple of them here. Let me cue these up. Hugo starts off saying, you can be a mechanic with a Dollar General socket set. You can be a mechanic with Snap-on tools if you're trying to see if it's for you, but spending $1,000 instead of $50 isn't reasonable, especially if you don't have that kind of money. Yes. Chris Jones is here. Hello. It's a huge turnoff for someone brand new to have to resolve a lot of the issues we're sealing. I wouldn't call me mighty, but some of these issues, yes. When I teach people, I try to ease the environment burden as much as possible. Yes. Let's blog what we're seeing here. Let's make it easier for folks to find how to get started, how to get those tools, cut the corners where they need to so they can be productive quickly with these tools, these frameworks, and build great applications, right? I think this is an opportunity. So, yep, let's make it easy for newcomers. Where'd it go? This one. There it is. Make it easy for newcomers to fall into the pit of success. Yes. And I agree with Coding Stocks. Unfortunately, Apple has a very closed ecosystem. You can't write anything for the iPhone without having a Mac. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a problem. All right. So, I have a couple things that we started looking at yesterday. We started getting into over here on the Chromebook. I'm going to switch feeds. I'm going to head over there. Let's dive back in. They're not avocado pits. Morelio, hello. Good to see you. Let me see here. Good. 9791. It says 9792 over here on Twitch. We're almost there at another sticker giveaway. Oh man, I got locked up yesterday with some of the things going on around the pandemic, the issues folks are having with that. I still need to get to the post office, but we're gonna get there. This is on my to-do list. I must have it and get these things shipped. I am way overdue. So close, just over 200 away from a big code party. Oh yes. You can lease a Mac online to test with. Yes, you can. That's the thing. All right. Let's do this. Let's switch over to, where'd it go? I'm losing my, this one. There we go. And I'm gonna put that in front of me here. There we go. Now I can see it front and center. There we go. Back on my Chromebook, back in the terminal here. Woo! That party time it's a thing. Oh, it's such a thing. Looking forward to this party. Oh yeah. 12 hours of my voice like this. Right? That's a thing. Oh, look at this. Hugo wants me to change to storyteller mode right as we hit the end here. All right. I can do that. 2, 1, and there we go. All right, so let's change this up. Let's see. Over here, doing that thing. There we go. You know, and I have some voice mod codes to give away still. We need to do that. Storytelling voice. Here we go. All right, 5-minute timer in effect. Welcome in, boys and girls, children of all ages. Let me tell you a story about VR. Right? That's totally a thing, isn't it? I don't want to zoom. Where'd it go? Ah, that's better. I want to get that font size pushed up just a little bit, make it easier for you to see. All right. Yeah, you can run a build server to build iPhone apps. That's definitely a thing, and I believe Azure DevOps will do that for you. I could be wrong. Frank might have some insight into that. Let's make it more storyteller. Welcome in, children. I forgot to set. Let me go back up here. My VimRC. Well, that's not right. No. My syntax highlighting isn't set. Right? Isn't it somewhere down here? Isn't it, set syntax on or something like that? Wasn't that it? Vim syntax highlighting. I forget the command. Need to put this back into the VimRC and commit it. See, I got crushed. All of my configuration went away yesterday. Just syntax on. Alright, so I don't need. Do I need set? Let's see what that is. Right, go back in there. Oops. Alright. That's better. Now I got my syntax highlighting. It looks hideous. I need to change that background color. MJT. Let me read you a little story from our friend MJT. Goldilocks wanted to develop some code. She had an Apple Watch, and it was just too small.
She had an Alienware Pentacore 37-inch, and it was just too big. But she had found a Chromebook under a mushroom, and it was just right. Clip that. Somebody clip that. Oh, that was so good, MJT. Well done. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see here. Where was I? Let's clean up the background here. So check this out. Check this out. I got Vera code working inside the editor. So you can get into the editor configuration over here by doing, what was it, Control-Shift-P, and it opens this. I still don't think I can get screen key working. Right? This one maybe? I don't know. That doesn't feel right. Right? Here, the Play Store. This one. Maybe that works? I don't know. It's more a movie voiceover guy voice. I can do that too. Oh, see, I don't think this is. No, that's not where I want to be. All right, let me go back over here. So I got Vera code, right? That code-focused font, built-in working here. Actually putting CSS in here. Lily Hazel is here. Hello, my friend. There we go. Now you can see this a little bit. So, there we go. And make this bigger. So there you go. Now you can see, right? So I actually have custom CSS written in here so that it lights up and uses the font that I want. Uh-oh. And that sound means it's the end of round one. Time for all the dollar values to double. Right.
That's better. No hamster time. Let's not do that just yet. We can hold off. I can, yeah. You want me to do?
In a world where only one man can write code this badly. No, that's not a thing. Don't do that.
All right, let's get back into this. No hamster time. Don't do. Oh, smab. I can't hold you off. Folks have so many channel bits here. It's more movie voiceover than storyteller. All right, here we go. We're gonna go back in. Yeah, look at this. Tens of thousands of bits being thrown at me. Channel points. I need to make these more. I don't know what we're gonna do here. All right, let's do this. We're gonna get into hamster mode and talk about, and there is no costume going with this. Jobbin PA.
Jobbin just resubscribed for 6 months.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's gonna put you into a blue hat, and we're gonna make another donation to code.org. Make changing the voice a billion bits. Sorry, doesn't work like that. The points do rack up quickly. No, I am not putting the costume back on. No. Thank you for the follow, Luke7982. That sounds very viewbot-ish, Luke. But I guess we're switching over to hamster mode.
Again. For the very first time. Oh yes. Look at all those bits folks have. Oh my goodness. We're making a mockery of this, aren't we? So I've got custom fonts by doing that. Consequently, this image, it can't see that image on disk. I wonder if I move that up, if I can get to it. Let me see. Don't go there. Yes, we need the indicator and we need the timer up, don't we? You're right. Right? Show the bar. Here it is. There we go. Ta-ding! Alright. Could I get the image by URL from GitHub? That's not bad. That's not bad either. Let me do that. Let's get it that way. So I keep my dot files now online over here. Right? Do. Wallpaper. Yes. I want. Let's have this wallpaper. Right? This one? That one? This one? Yes. Okay. That. And over here. Background image. Oh. Nope, that doesn't work either. No. No. Are you kidding me? Nope. No. That's disappointing. Can I do that? Nope. Does not work. Wow. You can't understand? What? What's there not to understand? Don't know if no. Or ding was better in hamster mode. Boom Boom has a question here. Let me cue that up. Let me over here do this. I'm gonna come to this question, and yeah, you're going to get an answer in hamster mode. Ding! What ding? No ding. Without the ding. No ding. Woohoo! Alright. Why can't I get that to show here? Right? That should be a thing. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. No. Do I have to make this URL? Do. I can't. There is no end key here. I think I got it.
Marilio Fulho just resubscribed for 3 months.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's gonna put you into a red hat. Right? There you go. Thank you so much for that support. And we'll make a donation to code.org. All onomatopoeia sounds awesome in the hamster mode. No hamster dance. Not a thing. No, sir. Alright, it looks like I have my background. Is it working? Alright. Size. Now, there's no documentation with this. And position. Those are like CSS positions, right? Let's just say CSS background. What does the fox say? A ring ding 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 ding. That's a thing, right? Hamster background required. Do you have one? Give me a URL. Let me see what you got. Let's see. I don't want it clip. I want to have it like fit, right? Not multiple backgrounds. No. I want it. No repeat. But how do I get it to stretch? Right? Stretch. Right? The fox says yum yum to the hamster? No. Hamster back no. Let's see. The modern way. Background size. Cover. What does cover do? Oh, so sorry. Hamster time is up. Right?
I need to make this a one-button thing to be able to switch back and forth between those voices. You did find a hamster image, didn't you, on HipCoder? Don't you tell me that that's a... What do we got there? Let me see what this looks like while I'm waiting for that image to load. Well, that's better. Okay. It's still a little bit big. But that is a hamster. And it said, look at that, the bot came out and said it's a picture of an animal. Yep. How do I make this, though? I want to make it somewhat, right, I want to set the opacity on that. You did not just go there again. Motown Andy wants me to go into Darth Vader mode. Oh, no. Welcome to Fun Voices with Fritz. I don't have, do I normally use Chrome OS? No, Luke, I don't. I'm trying to think, how can I get that image? Get them all done today, says Motown Andy. We'll get them all in. Sure. How am I going to get that image from over there to over here? Because the machines aren't connected. I want to get that URL over here. What's going to be the easiest way? I don't want to do something like send an email to myself. That feels weird. A cooldown between voices? You're not wrong. That's a good way to do it. Google Drive, that's a good way. All right, let me copy this. And we'll start bringing this over to... Google Drive and push that across. That should be on. It's not on.
There it is. Welcome back. Join the stream from the Chromebook. No. Well, that's probably the easiest, actually. Twitch TV. C# Fritz. Right? Definitely a thing. Don't show that. Don't. No. And I'm gonna have to log in. Whoa. No. Bad idea. Bad idea. Let me think. Easy way to get things back across. I do have OneDrive installed. Chrome has a send URL to device. Gist isn't bad. Gist is a pretty good option. Let's do that. Over here. URLs to share. Right? Sure, we'll make that public. There we go. So now I should be... You can't see it. Wrong screen. That's okay. Just GitHub copy. And now we're gonna have a hamster with Darth Vader. That's totally a thing. I forgot to set the timer. Crumbs. Alright, here we go. This one. That. 5 minutes. There we go. Alright. There's the URL. Copy. This one. There it goes. That's a really long download. But here it comes. And I'd love to... Bright, how can we set transparency on the background, right? CSS background image opacity. No, it's not a thing. It is a huge picture. Background opacity and image. Let's see. And image transparency. Convert it to a PNG. No. 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 Opacity 0.2, but I don't think. It's a huge hamster, is it? It's not that big. That's right, I'm coding with it. A hamster. Somebody tell Ellie Face. That's a thing. Let's fix this. Let's finish adding this. So there's an opacity. Can we add that to the background here with the custom CSS? Can we just do like, woo! Well, that didn't work. Paint? Well, wait a sec. That's not the background. So, what if we tinker with this a little, right? Because it's setting the opacity on the whole thing. Yeah, that's all elements. We don't want to change everything. I really miss having a home and end key. Let me get rid of that. So what would be the top level? Maybe body? Maybe? I'm losing the font also. Yeah, the Stack Overflow answer appends an extra div. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change the image to lighten it in order to get what we want. Same thing goes with that other image, right? For, yeah. Hello, you're cute, but deadly. That's not gonna work. Oh, wait. Change my background color to white. Right? Push that all the way up. That still doesn't work. No. Do an inspect on the image. I can't do an inspect over here. I don't have access. Right? Up here, I can't, oh wait a sec. Yeah, I can't right click on this and get anything. Do a control. Nope. And I don't have an F12. How do we get to developer tools? Control Shift I. There we go. There we go. X screen inside of a body. So if I make X screen that color, that opacity. Oh, so sorry. We're done. Done.
All right, back over here now. Oh, so much better. All right. RPF, rocket propelled Freeman. We've done that a couple days ago. So what if I make this then X screen opacity is the lower number, right? Because look, this div has opacity 0.5 here on this button up here. Well, that's not it. It's this in here. X screen. Right? So if I set X screen opacity, right? X dash screen, right? But after that, it's these divs, right? And each one of these is an X row. So if it's H term dash row nodes, can we hack this? H term row nodes, and we say opacity 1. Set the background image in its own custom CSS. Well, if I move it, it's the same thing. You're happy to hear normal me? Yeah, there you go. H term row nodes is, yeah. Right, and if I change this, and I feel like my font I want to be black. Well, I'm using the ID by putting the hash in front of it, right? And each one of these is a row inside of it, right? It's the syntax for the pseudo classes. Oh, you're right. Okay, so if we do div like this, do we get that? No, it's still, right, it's still, I'm not able to hook those at all, those row nodes, unless I need to access every one of the things underneath of it. Right? Can I do that? Nope. Oh, wait, I got it. Okay. Imagine using CSS to configure terminal. Yeah, that's right. What can I turn this up even further? No. So now how's that look? See, that just looks, that looks nice with the white back behind it, but right, we're kind of toast over here. And I don't want to spend too much more time on this. I'm going to get back into the project here. Text color, and the alpha is turned all the way up. So I've effectively, right, overridden all this with custom CSS. And I would like the cursor to blink, thank you. And I want to, yeah, underline. Opacity of background image. Yeah, how do I set the opacity? Just the opacity of the background image. Because there's, right, there's clearly, right, this X screen element. Do I just put it on the body? But it's on the X screen is where it is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to kind of give up on this. The background is just it's. I think I should turn off background image here because the background image is there's too much going on there to be able to read. Right? This isn't doing anything, even though it's really dark there. Right? Is that because of that? Yeah, now it's all bright, and I would prefer to use some... Let me turn off the image, but we know how to do the image now. So, yeah. And let me turn the background color. Let me make it more like a gray. Make it more like a bluish gray. But that's more of a purple. Somewhere in here. I don't know. And dial back the alpha just a little bit. I think that works. Yep, bye-bye hamster. I think that's a little bit better. Right? Maybe... Right, if I dial back that background opacity all the way, right? Yeah, I don't see the thing behind it. Right? If it was my wallpaper and you could see through it, but you can't. Whatever. All right. So we got through some simple yak shaving here. Let me head back over to our project. So this is the Blazor Web Forms components, and it is really hard to see that. Let me see if I can make that a little bit lighter blue. Gosh, what's like... Hey. What's like a... right? That's not bad. I'd really prefer like a darker color. Like... midnight blue, right? Go somewhere down in here. That's better. Oh, that's really easy on the eyes. What happens if you use a PNG that has opacity set in the image? Don't know. Too bad can't use a named color in that box. Yeah, netcodies, I think you're right. I think this looks better. It's easier on the eyes, and we don't need to go a little crazy on this. So, I'm back here in this folder, and I've been trying to figure out how to be a little bit more productive with building and developing while over here inside of Linux. So I have this watch test that runs. Right? That does this. Thank you for the follow. RCNet. Yeah, we were trying to put together a background that was semi-transparent. Let me mark. Excuse me, mark that complete. All right. But .NET Watch with this, right? It's going to do a restore. It's going to do all these things. Right? And it's also going to be extremely verbose. And we started putting together some information to tell it ignore some of the error messages that it was getting. Yeah, I'm going to get this because it didn't actually build yet. Was it this branch or was it the other branch? Right? I can't remember. Were we working in... Oh my gosh, dev lead! 19 months!
Resubscribed for 19 months. 19 months. Party popper.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that support. And we're going to make another donation to code.org. PowerShell Freak, thank you. I'm glad you find this interesting. Was it... So I'm in feature productivity. Were we in user control before? I think that might have been where we were. I think. Let's do this. Git branch, track. I can't remember which branch we were in yesterday, and since I hosed the machine. What? What? Why didn't it find it? Are you kidding? There we go. Well, they're not here. There's the severities. See those? I want that copied over into that productivity branch. Let's see. Let me just copy these. Because I don't necessarily want to do a merge yet. It's going to give me a little bit of a problem when I go to do the merge later. But we'll deal with that then. Alright, so VI, yeah, dot editor config. Gonna go to the end and, yeah, paste those in. Alright, so that's gonna remove those compiler warnings that we were running into, which is alright while here in development mode. Oh, I can get checkout -- file? Really? Why didn't I do that? Let's do that. That's a good suggestion, Hugo. My goodness. Can you put that up on featured chat for me? Let me do this. So let me reset. What happened here? Okay. Let's do git checkout. Thank you. And we're going to pull this out of spike user control -- dot editor config. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because there's not a capital C. Okay. Cool. That feels right. Thank you. Added compiler ignore statements to editor config. Oh shoot. I forgot to configure all my my Git settings. Ugh. Hang on. What is it? Git config email and the name. I forget what the parameters are because you only ever do this once, but you do it once per machine. Yeah. Git config global user email, right? And my user email for GitHub. Let's start here. And I think it's down here. Emails. This one. Git config global. It's my global setting. And where's the username? Is it just user.name? No, I'm not going to try and set up the YubiKey. No, I think that's just a little bit too far on this one. User.name. Okay. Now let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Boom, got that. All right. Now we're running again. All right. So now if I go back over to my scripts folder, no, we're good. All right. So from here, when watch test runs, so if I try .NET watch -p watch.csproj and -p doesn't work. Yeah. MS build -T. Can we get MS build help there? Let's see what options we have here. All right, there we go. For switch syntax, type MS build help. I didn't think so. So that doesn't work on Linux. MS build isn't here, right? Install tmux and termux and termux styling. I kind of agree. Have I considered the Pi 4? So Daniel S. Silva Dev, read the blog post. I've answered all of those questions in the blog post. Yeah, MS build -help. Is that on Linux? Nope, that's not there either. So you can't do that. Can we do .NET MS build help? Nope. Can we do that one? Ah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right. What do we got? I realized I was looking down at the screen. You're not seeing my face here. What do we got here? Build specific targets. Targets, property, max CPU count. I want all the CPUs. Verbosity. There we go. I want quiet. So I want to say -verbosity : quiet. -verbosity quiet. What is it again? Watch test. All right, so can I go to the end here and say -verbosity quiet? Can I do that? And I still need to build yet. So let me go over here, source these, and let me .NET build over here. Now that's going to do a restore and get that whole thing working. The long and short of it, and please, I hope folks read the blog post. That's you're seeing comments, you're seeing feedback off of a blog post, and this is a little frustrating for me as an author that I wrote a blog post and people immediately criticize the blog post without actually reading it. And I go into in the first paragraph or two, I'm not going to use a Raspberry Pi because then you also need to buy a display. You need to buy a keyboard. You need to buy a mouse. You need to buy storage. You need to buy all these things. And when it all adds up, you don't exactly have a portable machine that you can carry with folks to school. You don't have... Also, you're exploiting your own technical knowledge to be able to do that. The common person who is just getting into software doesn't know these things, and you can't buy a Raspberry Pi at the store down the street. So, yes, you could get your hands on a Pi 4 with 4 gigabytes. You could buy a display and hook it up. You could do these things. Hook it up to your television. Certainly. Those are things that you could do, but it's not a portable machine. It's not something that you can take to school, to the office, to the coffee shop and be productive in. You might be able to get them at Best Buy, but not everybody has a Best Buy. Everybody has a retailer that has laptops and low cost machines available. So, there we go. It took a minute and a half to build that. Now, it was the first time I built it. It should run, right? So, right, if I say .NET build and I make it quiet, it's still going to do the restore in here. I should kill the restore. Right. So I can say no restore. Chromebooks are on Amazon. Yes, they are. You just downloaded Vim. Welcome in. That's great. And that built in 8 seconds. Nice. That's what I wanted. Right? So can I do now .NET test, no restore, quiet. and I'll set up scripts that run these automatically so that I'm not paying the penalty of doing this. Any chance to look at? Yes, I have. I have Boom Boom's question queued up here somewhere on featured chat. Let me go to this while this is running. Boom Boom has a question here. Looking at scalability for applications in Blazor interactions, what are good resources for learning about keeping things consistent and synchronized in a space where multiple instances of the web application are running, and you might post to a different server than you got from? Are there multiple users editing the same entities, and you want to keep passing the data between them to avoid race conditions and conflicts? Oh, this scalability question from Boom Boom is a good one, and I don't know of a good resource off the top of my head that talks about what happens when you get to 2 servers. Once you get to 2 web servers, weird things start to happen. It's just weird what starts to happen, because you might have 2 servers trying to write to the same data on an external database, right? That's the first thing, right? Those shared resources across servers, you need to push somewhere else. Shared cache, put that somewhere else. The data you're working with, stand up a separate database server, right? Files that folks upload because they're customizing their background, they're customizing colors, they've got custom CSS, they're writing custom logos. You're going to write that to a shared file server so that you can have that shared file server available to all of your web servers that are going to be presenting that content, right? Or you put it down somewhere on another web server that is then being referenced, and everybody always gets off of a separate domain name. I don't think there's a good book that takes all of this tribal knowledge about what happens when you get to that second server and starts talking about it very well. You are going to want to start getting into row versions of your database, so that when folks do update, you do have that pessimistic locking, is what it's called. So that when folks are trying to update, they're saying update shopping cart where cart ID equals 1 and row version equals whatever version they last received. If that row version changes, because row version will change on every update, you don't have the current version, you get thrown out. That doesn't work. So cap theorem, exactly, Fuel Snable talking about cap theorem is something to consider as well. There are folks who say, don't worry about consistency in a relational database. Throw out relational database. That's not how folks build things these days. Instead, they build with event storage. And you store records, like records in your bank account. I withdrew $10. I deposited $50. And the current state of your bank account is the evaluation of all of those records. You withdrew $10, you deposited $50. The balance right now is $40 because of that change. Those changes are all that you're logging. These are the things that I did. It's a great way to store data, to show that audit trail of here's exactly what happened. But at some point, you need to take what's called snapshots of that data. And that snapshot is, well, here's the way that it was evaluated and calculated as of this time. And bank accounts do this. Banks do this. That's what they do overnight, midnight, 2 a.m., is they take that snapshot and here's your current balance. And everything that you do during the next day are those pending transactions. And if you have a pending transaction that when they reconcile, that's what they call it at midnight, 2 in the morning, when they reconcile your account and play back all of those events against the last snapshot, they come back and say, oh, you went over, you've overdrawn your account, and they charge you whatever their over the limit fee is, $30, $50, whatever it might be. And now they've made money on that eventual consistency. So folks that say don't worry about that consistency, use the event storage like this, you run into issues. You need to at some point resolve it. So it's not a lot of work. It's, just toss a 2d20. It can be done, and you can be very successful with it. But I don't think anybody's written a really good book on discussing that type of architecture. But there's definitely things that I would look at around pessimistic locking. I would read up on content and discussions around web servers and redundancy. So, what about reservations? The customers reserve a specific unit. Oh, this is a good one from Fuel Snable. If a customer reserves a specific thing, right, for tickets to events, right, to sporting events, concerts, run into exactly this. Oh, I bought the tickets for row 1, seat 2. Well, which one is it? Who gets that, right? In an eventual consistency model, they're going to sell you that ticket, but they might come right when they get to that only at the right. They might say, yeah, you have the inside track on getting this, and once they get to the point of charging your credit card, that's when they're going to do that last minute check. Is this still available? Oh, sorry, we just sold it. They might have sold it 5 minutes ago, but in the 15 minutes that you had that reservation, it's okay. They do that last minute check, right? And Hugo points out that you have 5 minutes to complete this transaction. It's reserved. It doesn't mean secured. At the time that you said, I want this seat, it's available. It might be snagged in that 15 minutes by somebody else. Different folks have different rules on that. They might block. Some systems might block and not allow you to take that reservation, while allow you to see that seat's available while somebody else has it reserved, right? Because they're doing their 15 minutes of getting out their credit card and keying in their numbers and actually completing the purchase. Some, right, they'll be pessimistic. Sorry, somebody's already working with this seat. They're going to buy row 1, seat 2. You don't have access to it. They might also be optimistic. Yeah, somebody else has is working on this for the next few minutes. You're allowed to take a look. You might be able to buy it out from under them. Different systems behave different ways. You can also fix it by optimistically locking the seat, and then when it happens, when the 0.1% case, you send one of the users a nice compensation. Yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry, you didn't get it. It's a tricky problem, and there is no one solution for that. Depends on your business scenario. So, if there is enough inventory, the seat could be reserved for longer. Sure. Thank you for the follow. Who's our new follow there? Well, you're asking for a ban. That's exactly what the bots say. What's 2 plus 2? Okay. We get a lot of bots that come in here and misbehave. Bots are good at math. I'm just making sure. We do get bots in here. No captchas. All right, so we got this compiling and running the tests in 11 seconds. That's still slow for what we're used to being on the more powerful machines. But for a Chromebook, not bad. I'm okay. Too fast. Clearly got audio processing capabilities. No, just a random Belgian guy. Not a problem. Thank you, Bot Manolo. I appreciate that, and I hope you understand my concern. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to speak here, and that folks aren't overwhelmed and blocked out, prevented from interacting. So welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Cloud Gator says, this is enlightening. Thanks for the new language terms to use in problem solving. Never heard about optimistic and pessimistic locking before. Cloud Gator, you're going to see that type of language, particularly around relational databases. SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres. You'll hear folks talk about that, and there's features in there that are beyond just select, right, insert, update, delete, that will help guide you in how you interact with the database. So, plot twist, there's a manual procedure in the bot to get free access to chat. No. No. Soft delete. Eternal Devcoder, that's a great point. We used to, is there like a whiteboard? No, I don't. We used to build, you know what I can do? I can do this. We used to build systems where we had a delete date in a record, right? So you would have something where you would say ID 1, name equals Jeff, and you had a delete date value hanging out here, and you would set it to max date. Now, max date for SQL Server is 8 bytes. 8 bytes is a lot of data when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of records. You're talking about gigabytes of 8 bytes that might not be used. So we turned this into the 4-byte small date, which ends in like 2069. So we would set this value to let me do this the day, month, year way, right? So it was something like that, right? So the delete date is way far out there. So when you would select records, you would select records where delete date is in the future. That way I could also have records that sat here like this, right? And I would say delete date is 3/2020, right? So now when I say, well, select records where delete date is in the future, I would only get row 1. Row 2 is still there, right? And if I'm going to look at all the people who are ever in my system, I still have row 2, but it's deleted. So I would create views that ran on top of this that were indexed. Let me come back to your question there. And I would index on that delete date. I had a view that would hide the delete date. So I would just say select star from employees, and it would give me just row 1 because row 2 was deleted. GDPR, not acceptable. Well, there's ways to deal with the GDPR with this, right? Then I can say, oh, well, delete this record, and it's still available in my archives if I need to, and it still has the delete date. So, isActive flag bit is, you can't filter on flag bit, and you can't index on isActive because it's a bit. Admiral Kier has a question here. Today decided to switch from Windows to a Linux distribution. Which Linux distribution would you recommend for developing ASP.NET Core projects? Red Hat has taken steps to make sure that ASP.NET Core is in there and available. PowerShell Freak, thank you so much for that. Oh my goodness, thank you for those gift subs. We're going to make 5 donations to code.org. Admiral Kier, stay right there. We're going to make 5 donations to code.org. These folks, Rafflex62, Netcodes, Dillinger6360, MXGTV, and Art for the Apocalypse, you just got gift subs thanks to our friend PowerShell Freak. Thank you so much for that generous gift to our community. I really appreciate that, PowerShell Freak. Thank you. So Red Hat has specifically taken steps at a corporate level to support enterprise folks building with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So I would first off, I would say check out Red Hat Linux for this. They've got a support structure built there that should help you when you get to deploying out to a production space. I do most of my development using Ubuntu Linux. That'll work great too. Red Hat Fedora is great to be developing on. This is Chrome OS. I've had great success here. Not a problem, Hugo. There's a stop button there on the on deck that I have set so it'll automatically appear. That's what you're seeing there. So that would be where I would go. For my production enterprise deployment, I would consider Red Hat because they have that support capability. Not too much. You can try Windows Subsystem for Linux as well, as Ultramark is pointing out. That'll get you into seeing a little bit of Linux without having to do a full install. Or right, you can set up in a virtual machine also, like I was. and you'll be successful there as well. So this is building a lot better for me now. I'm going to start Tmux. Oh, Tmux isn't here because I wiped my machine. Nice. Way to go there, Jeff. apt-get install Tmux. Get that installed. And I still haven't figured out a good way to configure Tmux. I know there's plugins and things that we can make happen there. Take care, Q Macro. Oh yes, this is quite the journey. Absolutely. All right, so now I should be able to run Tmux. There we go. And let me see. Take that font size down just in. That's better. All right, and I'm only going to separate into 2 columns now because 3 columns is a little bit much, is what we're finding. So that, and I'm just going to nudge that over a little bit. I can't nudge it any further. All right. So there's that, and over here. So if I go up, and I'm here. Isn't there a way to change the font size in these panels? You have a Tmux config open in front of you. Send me a gist. Oh, thank you, Degs. I would really appreciate that. That's really cool. Thank you. Tmux, Vim, and all the goodness. All the things I'm doing here on the command line, you can do with Windows Subsystem for Linux. Lugo. Oh, my goodness. Hugo is right. Thank you. Right? Because, look, this is simple. This
can be done exactly how I want it.
It can be done.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Darn right I'm the man to do it. Darn Skippy I'm the right guy to do it. Hey, Wheelchair Sean. Good to see you. How's it going, Sean? You think... yeah, on the Visual Studio stream last week, you said you'll see answers after the stream because there were many correct ones. 10 people won. Oh, Boki996. Our friend D.D. Walsh was looking into that, and with some of the pandemic things going on, they might be taking a little bit longer, but we do have the chat. It was sent over. Let me take down your name over here to take a look on. And I do have other stickers to send out. Boki996. I will look into that and get back to you. And that was stickers from the Visual Studio for Mac stream. All right, I've got that here. See, you can't see it. See, it's right there. All right. So I will follow up on that. Hugo's, yeah, Lugo doll. Hugo's estranged weird cousin. No. Wow. All right, maybe. Where was I? So I'm over on this side. So let me run. I thought there was. Yeah, there were. There were stickers. Yes. This over here. It's go over to scripts. So let me do. What was the command? Let's make sure we get the command right. No. I need to go up one more. Scripts. Yeah. Right. Watch test. Verbosity quiet. I also wanted to do a. I don't think it's doing a restore. We should be okay on this, right? Am I over? No. Okay. Clear this. See, I've also got little rendering issues happening there. So if I run watch test, that should be running and watching and building tests now on this side. So I get that almost a continuous testing type of feel. Thank you, Ultramark, for sharing that link to WSL too. So while that's building, see, look at that. And it's already running the tests right here. Fantastic. Yeah, see, I'd like to shrink that. And the notes that we're using in test to output this HTML, I'd love to make that more conditional so that it doesn't output it all the time. All right. Let me jump to the left screen over here. Left. Thank you. So part of me wants to merge this into my dev branch and get back to working on the form view, right? Because if we look at the log here, we added scripts into watch test feature. Yeah, I think we can merge this into... what do we have here? No, not that. Queue, clear, get status. There's one change, and it's watch test, right? And it's because we put the verbosity on there. All right, so let's update that. Added quiet verbosity to the watch test script. Okay, and right, this is part of trying to make this run and test quicker, faster, easier, so that folks can be productive who don't have all the capacity. I want to see about making some of these console write lines that are happening over here. See if we can make those smaller so that it's not taking that much time to write out all this content. So let's see, those are inside my tests. So maybe if I go into source, maybe there's a way we can make, nope. I want to be in the tests, right? And I specifically want to look, these are item separators. That's in list view, right? You know what? I can just start working from here because I can control N and see this. So if I go into list view, let's look at, I think it's, we're going to see these, here's one of the first ones we're going to see it in. So this is a Razor template that we're using with Blazor to be able to show and hide and test that it does these components format appropriately. There it is. See that console write line? I'd really like to be able to hide that. Loving the live coding thing, such a great idea. Well, thank you, Des Fowler. I appreciate you. You're enjoying this. I'm always happy to answer questions here on the channel. And there are no bad questions here, okay?
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
No idea. All right. So, do we really need the console write line? Exactly, Willem. We don't need it for the purposes of where I am in this. I feel like there's a compiler flag or something we could pass in there to say only output this when, right, or to log that so that it writes it out to the console only when it's appropriate, right? Oh, okay. Degs has a tmux conf for me. I'm going to open that in another. Yeah, conditional compilation argument that happens somewhere. Maybe log it, and when an assertion fails. Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Thank you for the file there. You'd lose console output unless there's an error. Yeah. In which case I would rewrite these. Abstract it in an iLogger, Simon. That's where I was thinking. I think that's the way to go with this, but I don't know if we can inject. Well, this inherits from test component base. Can we inject a logger? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do here. So maybe, right, if this is just like any other Blazor thing, right, I should be able to inject a logger. So let's set up a property, logger factory, for a logger factory with get set, right? And we're gonna make this, is it injectable like that? Is that the thing? Or is it just, no. I think that works, right? Otherwise it's at inject. Let's do add inject up at the top. right? Right, at inject logger factory, right? I know we can do that. So then down here, right? Let's see, I can say var logger equals logger factory dot create logger. Now I'm starting to get into some place where, let me write this out. It doesn't recognize Blazor, Hugo. It doesn't recognize the Razor syntax. So let's let it recompile right here. Make sure that I'm not too far out there yet. I think I have to give a name to the logger. I think I do. Let's see. So just give it a few seconds here. Thank you for the follow. Erica, 1501. Is that the Erica that I know? Welcome in. We are 4 followers away from another giveaway. There we go. The typer namespace iLogger factory cannot be found. Alright, so we need to add in, I believe it's Microsoft extensions. I believe. Microsoft extensions logging. I think that's it. Let this rebuild and rerun. Yeah, that Erica name looks familiar. Welcome in. Good to see you. Let me see here. While that's running, I'm going to take a peek at what's happening on Twitter. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. There we go. There is no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter category name. Bingo. All right, so we need to put a category name in down here. So let's move that up. There we go. Insert, and let's say, let's just say test, right? I don't know. So then instead of saying logger right line, right? Thank you for the follow. Gore AB86. That feels view-bot-ish as well. Instead of console right line here, right? We could change this to, if I go open this up, right? But no. Right? Insert here. Let's comment that out for right now. And I can make this logger dot log debug. Right? Cut dot markup. Let's see. So now the logger should only be writing that out when we're in debug mode. So we could tune that down, how we're interacting that. Missing that control dot yet? Oh, very much so, Simon. Oh, very much so. Here we go. iLogger does not contain a definition for log debug, accepting a first argument of type. So log debug. Why are we missing log debug? It clearly has the right type here, iLogger. So we got that. I thought iLogger had. Right, iLogger, is it log debug? I thought that was the method name. Yeah, logger extensions. Oh, we got to bring that in. Oh my goodness. No, Morzel, you can absolutely use Visual Studio Code. Yes. So I need. Yeah, Microsoft extensions logging. I need a using statement for that. Let's bring that in, and if this works, we'll move it into our project so that we can have that using statement available to us. Which means I'll be able to get rid of. I'll be able to get rid of that, won't I? So let's put using statement here. Get rid of some of this other junk. Right. That should fix that. Let's see what happens here. Yep, control dot Fubarius opens up quick fixes, alt enter in Writer, and Resharper will do that also. Yep, those are definitely things that you can do. So, yep, and you're absolutely right, Willem. It is an extension method, and it's that using statement I needed. Let's see if we've got the log working now. I feel like this is building properly. Yeah. Test run. There we go. Starting test. All right. So the compiler is compiling properly. Is it outputting the right thing? I don't know. Let me see here. Test runner fail. Now what's interesting is it keeps running, right? And it's not showing me what failed. Right, I don't have a way to see exactly what failed there. Is it right? I'm saying log debug string object. Well, I don't have a object on the end of it, right? And that object is a param, so it doesn't matter. So that should have worked right there. Let's see. How should we go about this? Right? Let's do this. If I ran .NET test here and I pipe it through more, right? I should be able to get to that element where the error does happen. Right? Or I could send it out to something. And there we go. So now I'm in my more. Right? Is there an error? Pattern not found. Oh, and I've lost it now. Ugh. All right, so let's do this. Write it out to a log file so we can take a look at it. Is there an exception? Is there what exactly happened here? Right? So pipe that over and take a look at what happened. Because we're just getting too much stuff in the log. No, I appreciate that, Boki. Let's see. Right? So, right? Is there an exception? There we go. First test. And it's not telling me what happened. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. So we didn't get the logger factory is what I'm taking that to mean. Right? Love those messages. Yeah, they're real handy, aren't they? Which test was it we were working on? Ugh. Right? I don't remember which test we were working on. It was in list view, and I thought it was this one. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Right, so that's telling me here this logger is not here. Let me see. So why don't I have a logger? Well, .NET Test isn't injecting a logger, right? That would be a reason. If we're not able to get a logger. Okay. So if we can't get a logger, then part of me says let's wrap component write line so we can conditionally trigger it. Conditionally write stuff. So that would be a thing we could do. Let me come back to this, because there's more going on here. That console write line, trying to redirect that, I feel like is... Maybe we just create a class called test console. And we just get it, and, well, we can't inject a mock logger. We don't have access to XUnit here. That, right, we're inside of the Razor test library at this point, interacting with Blazor. Right. Razor component test library GitHub. Right. At this point, we're vertical ASCII lines. I know, Stelzy, I know. That triggers me too. Right, so now it's renamed to bunit. Okay. Okay. So we're in Razor-based testing. And you don't have a logger that you can hook into, right? I don't know. Right. It would be nice if we could access the logger. Is there a log? Oh, wait a sec. Add XUnit logger. Oh, he's just... let me see. What do we got over here? Is there... presentations... I don't want to mock the JavaScript runtime. No. There's going to be something in here about how to do the logging, right? Logic, that's the only reference. And there is a way to interact with the services. See, without IntelliSense, I can't just noodle around the user interface, around the API, easily here, and find it. So if I go back, add XUnit logger on XUnit logger extensions. I don't think we have access to this. I could open Visual Studio Code. I could install it and get that running, right? Code Visual Studio com. I could do that, right? Because it'll get me through it faster, right? Here it is, downloading now. So I am on a Chromebook, and yes, I am installing VS Code. This is the only Microsoft tools that are installed on this machine. Yeah, okay, downloaded complete. Now what? Install it. Do it. Make it happen. Run. Yeah. This looks promising. Go. It's so much Come on. You can do it. Right there. Thank you. If you want to try to live without VS Code, have you considered Sublime? Why? It's another full text editor that I need to install. I mean, if I'm going out and installing Sublime, yeah, the entire Linux on Chrome OS is beta. Yes. Where did it go? Ah, look at that. You pin to shelf. Ooh, look at all the things. Neat. Not what I want, though. Sublime, Atom, brackets. If I'm installing one of those, I might as well run Visual Studio Code. Right. Using Vim is kind of driving home the point that you don't even need Visual Studio Code if you don't want to. I've got this ugly giant bar up at the top. But hey, whatever. Open folder. Oh yeah, it gets me into my Linux folders. There we go. Now we're talking. Does VS Code use its own language service? It has a flavor of Omnisharp installed for it, and you'll see it pop up down here in just a minute. Right, it's going to appear. You'll see the little flame appear down here, and that's the Omnisharp flame. And down here in the status bar. Eventually. Maybe. Right, we have, has it recognized that it's a .NET project? It should. Right, there's our solution file. So this should pick up and start making things available for us. Unless it doesn't have C# install. We can install C#. Do that. That OS has a pretty clean user interface, says Morzel. Yeah, oh yeah. Right, this is Chrome OS. Here we go. So now I've got 2 copies of Omnisharp installed. Could be a problem. Don't think it will be, but could be. Right, because that's the other thing going on here is we've only got so much space. Okay. You need to get a new Chromebook so you can get the Linux install and Android running capabilities. You have an older Acer C720. That's right. Now that I wiped everything, the things that I was doing with GNOME Terminal should be all wiped out. All clean. So now, there you go. See the little flame dealy here? That's Omnisharp running. And it should change colors here. Thank you. That stupid thing's going to keep appearing and haunt me. Right? See? So it's doing its thing. Could not locate project. Seriously. Shut up. You. Shut up. Unresolved dependencies. No. They're there. You just don't know it. Let's see. Let me go over here. We were down in here. This is the test project. There's the list view over here on this one. And I should get, see, activating extensions. It's giving, there you go, Blazor syntax and Razor syntax highlighting. So now the question is, right, what do I have in the base here? Because it's all about that base, No? No. Nope. See how it's ABC there? That's not... It's not finding anything, and it's just There, those are .NET things that it found that it could interact with. So now if I say this dot, there we go. What happens if I say base dot? What do we got here? Oh, Morzell, not a problem. What is Omnisharp? Omnisharp is the extension. It's the language service that runs that gives you .NET and IntelliSense syntax highlighting and capabilities, productivity capabilities in any editor. So this will run in, right, where is it? There you go. It'll run in Atom, Brackets, Emacs, Sublime, Vim, and Visual Studio Code. This is what will make those editors speak C#. That's a great way to put it, Simon. Yeah. So if I go back over to here, right, and I'm taking a look here, see how it has the ABC in front of it? That's Visual Studio Code saying, well, I don't know what this is, but this is something that's also in this text that folks are using. Is that what you think it is? Is that what you want to use? No, it's not. So I don't see that I can get to the services here. Right? I'm trying to inject the logger factory. So I don't see a way that I can get to the services. You're welcome, Morzell. Not a problem to help out there. Clear things up here a little bit. All right. So I can't get to the services. I want to get this thing redirecting. If I were to create a class over here to do that redirection, can I add a constructor? No. Because I'm inheriting from up here, from this thing. From the test component base. So I'd have to move over into C# development. Which when you're writing and testing components, and that's what we're doing here, we're building components, it looks and feels weird. Thinking. What else could we do? Right, I mean, the other way is to build a class that emulates this, but kind of cheats and wraps it. Right, and then does that check to make sure, do you really want to do this? Let's call this test console. Right? Put this into the appropriate namespace, which is Blazor Web, not Webo. Web Forms Components Test. Right, so we use namespaces to organize our code. Hey you. Settings. User settings. There we go. Good. Glad they're automatically saved. Right? So public class test console. Let's make this a static class. And public static void right line, right? String text, and we'll just redirect. No, console dot right line text. See, and I've got somebody was asking earlier about the control dot. See the light bulb that appeared? Control dot, and it says, oh, what do you want to do here? There's a using statement I'm missing. Right, console should be coming off of, I don't have a host, Brave Cobra. I'm beholden to the test process. Where does console come off of? Is it right? No. Why am I blanking on this? Console right line. I thought it was system.console. So I don't have a using system statement up here. Right? So there, that got cleaned up. Objects for formatting. There's 19 different versions of this. I'm not going to override all of them. Most of them that we're calling are just right line. But I could test now. Right, I should be able to test or do a test on an environment variable, maybe? You have to have a host because the app is running in .NET Core. Yes, I don't have control of the host because I'm running .NET Test. .NET Test launches, right? Look. This is just a class library. The host is being managed by the other side. What do you mean not since 3.1? It launches any iHost builder. Really? Hang on. Let me close some of these. .NET Test iHost builder. Are you kidding? In which case we could register. We're a bit over on time here. I need to wrap up here. So I don't have. So how do we do this inside of a test then? Host create default host builder app configuration. Yeah, is there a way to do this? In a console application? Well, in a console application, okay, but we're already within a test, right? There's a console application that's running this as the test application. No. It's not integration testing. Test is a console application behind the scenes, but can we trigger it? .NET Test. Okay. That's dependency injection with .NET Core. No. No, we're getting the new changes for iHost Builder in 3.1. Uh, 3.1. And it puts me back into this article. Is this going to give me what I'm looking for here? it calls start async on each implementation of I-hosted service that it finds in the DI container. So how do I get them into the DI container? Right, when .NET test runs, no. You were doing this with somebody else on the Live Coders team this week. Oh, well then I'll blame them. Boy. I'm not sure. Is it in .NET Core 3.1? Let me see here. That's 3.0 improvements. No. I think I need to wrap up for now, but if you find that, lets you share DI and app startup between web app project and the test project. Good. Share dependency injection with test project. See if there's an article that we can find real quick. One year ago. No, it's no. Yeah, the idea of DI in tests does seem a little bit off. I just want to get to some sort of a compile parameter and be able to turn that on and off. Right? I mean, I should be able to get to the ASP.NET in the configuration, right? Right, if I go back over here. I don't think... No, I'm not... If I wanted to get configuration settings, see, I don't know where that is either. Right, or a command line switch. Command line argument. Right, is there a thing to get to .NET command line arguments? Right, when this was executed. See, I'm way far down the stack at this point. No. I can check for an environment variable, but... right. Environment get environment variables, right? I could go after ASP.NET Core environment. And if it does not equal, right, I could do that. And over here, instead, just say, right, let's, I mean, we're totally, now I've done it. Now, that should work. This should build. Let's see what that does. All right, here we go. That's a lot of holy. That's what's in my set right now? And I can't stop it. It's too busy painting the screen. Create a new service collection and add stuff to it. Sure. No, don't have one. The name Logger Factory does not exist in grouping 6.5. Oh, I forgot I left that line in there. That'll rerun. I don't know if test console works, but I'm gonna right. I'm gonna save this for what we've got for right now. Trying to make logging to the console easier on. Yeah, just easier. More well-behaved. Let's put it that way. So this side, let's see. Test run, good, here we go. I'll have to put that test console command then everywhere. Do I have a git link for that branch? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now it runs properly. This branch is feature productivity. So, I think for now, this is something simple that we can roll out to some of those other tests and simplify a little bit of this goo that's being output here and hopefully shrink that test time. So if I go to, let's just try this real quick. If I go to one of these other tests that I know has a console write line like that in here. Right? So it was 13.6 seconds. Just removing it, doing that console write line like that. Let's see how fast it takes to run that test. Pyrocat asks, why a Chromebook? Because students are issued Chromebooks right now in schools. It's a very affordable, low-end piece of hardware that is a full laptop that you can be productive with. You can do your emails, you can do your word processing, spreadsheets with this. So why not your software development too? So. So it's almost done to compile. Right? And these error messages, if we can simplify and get rid of these, we're in a better shape as well. So here it comes running the test. It was 13.69 seconds to run the tests. Just by removing that second one here, so that we're not outputting all that console junk. We saved another 0.3 of a second. 2.9 of a second. So, yeah, more to show that you can than that I actually love to. No, can be done. Is it what I'm going to be doing for my day-to-day work? No. No. It's just that it's a possibility. Right? So if I do, let's roll that also over here. Let me keep going here. Let me look for that console right line cut markup as the syntax. Right? If I look for that everywhere. There we go. Now we can see, ooh boy, look at all these places it's used. Right, if I just roll through and change these. Right, I mean... Can I just change that to a find and replace? Hey, I am not myself. Hello. Let's do that. Yeah, let me reset those. Right? And that one place where it is test console. Roll that back. And instead, let's take this to a find and replace. Match whole word, no. Yeah, there we go. And let's replace it with test console. Yep, 26 files. Bang, done. File change. Look at these. Oh, I don't know what to do. Panic! Ah! You have a feeling that I might need a yoga session? No. We're gonna be all right. But I do have a meeting at 12:30 here, so I need to get this saved and call it here. But we were at 13.69 seconds to run the tests. I hope it's 12 seconds. Yeah. I do. Let's see what it says here, John. Yeah, you've yet to find a usable live unit test tool outside of Visual Studio. Yeah, unit tests at the command line are messy. Right? Ugh. Why is that still running and outputting all that garbage? No. Even though I replaced it everywhere, it looks like it still wrote the stuff. Right? Close everything else. Right, so everything's calling through test console. No. It's dollar, isn't it, over here? Nothing. Cheater. Well, a little bit. You know what? Let's take this. Introduce a local. Let's call this env name. No. Oh, you stink. No, I do want that. I do want that. Now, I'm right, it shouldn't output anything. It could take 5 minutes and then do a voice change. What? No. No. So, that should work. Attempting to limit output to the console. This is my own branch that I'm working in here, so not a problem, and I'll push those couple changes out. Here comes the test run. Yeah. I don't want to see any output. Nope, still get the output. And now it's even longer. Probably because I was running something else at the same time. But there's got to be a way to simplify this. I'm going to figure this out and get back to it. We've committed our code, so I can do more testing on that. I can do more investigation on that next, in between and getting ready for next time. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Why the or? So if it is not set, don't even check to see if it's not equal to production. Just go. Null or empty? Sure. But if it's production, I do want to see the tests run. Let's see who else is out there on Twitch that we can raid. Get that raid happening. Pulled the project Visual Studio 2019. Prompted you to install .NET Framework 4.8. Yes. It does run .NET Framework 4.8. You know when we need to raid? Oh my goodness. Somebody that absolutely deserves a good raid today. Let's raid our friend InstaFluff. What the? No. I'm over here. There he is. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. InstaFluff's another member of the Live Coders team. He's just chatting right now, but it looks like he's getting ready to stream. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing more code. I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to do a little bit more tuning of my configuration here and see if we can get this running just a little bit faster, squeeze a little bit more performance out of this, and get into building some more of our Blazor components. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you joining us. And this video, along with all my other videos, can be found over on YouTube. Get ready to say hi to my good friend InstaFluff. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much, everybody. There we go. See ya.